Okay, I'm going to talk about the muscles of the arm. And so first I'm going to talk about this large muscle. It's in a triangular shaped muscle. This is the deltoid, kind of looks like shoulder pads from a jacket. So this is the deltoid. Remove the deltoid. And just to give you an orientation, this bone, this would be the scapula. This is the spine of the scapula, right? This muscle directly above the spine, this is the supraspinatus. Supra above the spine, supraspinatus. This muscle right here below the spine, and it would be sitting in that infraspinous fossa, this is the infraspinatus, okay? Then continuing to work our way down, this is the teres minor, and then this muscle directly underneath this metal rod that holds the arm up on its stand, this is the teres major, okay? Now this muscle that makes up pretty much the majority of the posterior side of the brachial region, and it has 3 heads, 1, 2, 3, this is the triceps brachii. So you don't have to be able to tell me the specific names, is it the medial head, so on and so forth. You just have to be able to tell me, if I put a sticker on any 3 of these heads, you should be able to tell me this is the triceps brachii, okay? Now I'm going to flip this arm. We're going to look at the anterior view. And this muscle on the anterior side of the scapula, this is the subscapularis. Okay. This major muscle that has 2 heads makes up the primary portion of the anterior brachial region. This is the biceps brachii. Same thing, you don't have to name the specific heads, you just have to be able to tell me this is the biceps brachii. If you look, this long thin muscle right here, this is the coracoid. It's coming from the coracoid process. This is the coracobrachialis. And you can see a portion of this muscle right here, okay? And if I remove the biceps brachii, you can see the entire muscle. This is the brachialis, okay? Lots of muscles have brachialis or brachii in the name because this is the brachial region. This muscle right here that comes from the brachial region and kind of radiates down to the forearm, this is the brachioradialis, right? So it comes from the brachial region and runs along the radial side of the forearm, because this would be, remember, thumb. This is where the radius is. Ulna is on the pinky side, radius on the thumb side, right? On the lateral side. So this is the brachioradialis. Okay. This muscle right here, so the flexors are going to be on the anterior side, because when they contract, they'll flex the arm at the wrist, okay? So this is the flexor carpi going towards the wrist, radialis because it's on the thumb side. So flexor carpi radialis. This muscle right here that comes down to the palm region, this is the palmaris longus. And moving in more medially, this muscle right here, which extends down on the pinky side, this is the flexor carpi ulnaris, because it's on the pinky side. Now go to the posterior side of the forearm. This muscle right here, which is we're still on the pinky side. This is the extensor, because the extensors are on the posterior side. This is the extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay. This muscle right here, which goes and then extends to the digits, this is the extensor digitorum. Extensor digitorum. Now, if I remove this part, which is where we see the brachioradialis, okay, and I remove this, I'm going to point out the 2 muscles. This muscle is the supinator. This is the pronator. Okay, so the pronator comes down and crosses over towards the radial side, whereas the supinator comes and crosses over towards the, right, if you were looking at directions, towards the ulnar side, right? So this is supinator, this is pronator. And it makes sense that the grains of the muscles are going in opposite directions because they do exact opposite movements. And that's it.